And we're back on the Black and Gold Report presented by Pepsi, a show all about UNC Pembroke athletics. I'm joined now by UNCP men's and women's cross-country head coach, Dr. Peter Ormsby. Coach, thanks for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Your team opened the season with a tough challenge back on Thursday, September 1st, the Elan Open. Almost entirely D1 schools you were competing against. Talk about the decision to do that and how you feel it turned out.
Well, it was a little easier than I thought. As an alumni, you always want to go back and see how things changed and everything else. So it was one of those things that we knew going in. Obviously, Elan going D1, they were going to bring in some good talent. So to race against the likes of High Point, UNC, and a couple others, that it's a good humble beginning, and just to kind of see where we're at.
Start on the men's side, where the Braves finished 6th, but were the only D2 school competing against D1 competition. The top 7 men's finishers for UNCP finished within a minute of each other. Is that an encouraging sign as a head coach?
It's good. I actually had to look back at my notes from last year's opener, and we're actually on that, we're about 10 seconds quicker on the split, and on average we're about 4 seconds off. So it's really not as bad as it looked in the results. You know, and we had one guy out of place compared to where we thought he should be, and you put him where he should have been, and we're scoring 4th. So all in all, it's looking good. We didn't really do a hard opener practice-wise, so this really was our first true hard effort.
Sophomore Logan Word finished 9th in that Elan Classic, which is his first top 10 finish of his college career. Is he someone we should look for to fill the void left by some of last year's seniors who led that team to the Peach Belt Conference Championship?
I think he's on the tip of everybody's tongue right now. He was our, you know, he was our 6th or 7th guy all last year, and we knew he was going to be something special, just how deep we were last year. And to, you know, he's running 20 miles a week in high school. Now he's jumped up to 55 last year. Now he's almost topping out at 70 this year. So for him to show out like he did means he put in the work, and he's just very hungry. He actually came into my office and goes, "Coach, I don't know if I should have done that." I was like, "No, that's probably the best thing you could have done is go out and try to hang with the big boys."
Now, talking about that PBC championship team a year ago, expectations, I think, for this year's team are also still pretty high.
It's always going to be high. Obviously, the target's still on our back. This weekend, we'll get to see a couple of the region schools and one conference school. So it's little steps. We're going mile by mile and workout by workout. And, you know, we're a postseason team. We don't need to be hitting on all cylinders right now.
Turning now to the women's side, it was the Black and Gold finishing 6th at the Elan Open again, with the only teams finishing ahead of it being D1 schools. What did you see from the women's team that stood out?
I think we're still searching for a 5th runner. We've got a couple females that are going to go back and forth between 5th and 6th or 4 and 6. So we don't back off for a meet like this. So we had a couple girls or ladies saying they were a little tired going in. And I told them that's expected. We're expected to do that. And I really want them to know the difference between a hard effort and a taper effort, so that they know how to feel at the end of the season.
Your team is back at it this weekend with a trip to Greenville, South Carolina for the Furman Classic. What's the outlook for that meet?
Definitely a little bigger field size. We're looking at about 25 to 30 teams, so definitely a really good season opener. About half or 3/4 of the field is going to be D2 type opponents with 4 regionally ranked teams on both sides. So we're really looking at this as where we truly are right now, because then we go into an off week before we head out to Tribeca at Nashville.
How much do you pay attention to what other Peach Belt Conference teams did in the opening weekend, since you weren't side by side with them for week 1?
I think my athletes do that more than I do. What I'll do is I'll look ahead to the week ahead. Once we get to about mid to late September, early October, then I'll start looking. But my kids will be on mile split and looking at the results just to make sure that they keep me on my game.
All in all, is the team where you want them to be at this point in the season? I know it's still really early.
Definitely. I think there's going to be some movement up and down, but I think right now we're showing that we're about as good as we were last year starting out. And once we get later in the season where we start pulling back on mileage and stuff like that, I think we're going to be at or better than last year. And knock on wood, that's where we like to be.
Dr. Peter Ormsby, head men's and women's cross-country head coach, thanks for joining us. It's all the time we have for the Black and Gold Report this week. As a reminder, fan season tickets are still available for UNCP football. For more information on that, as well as upcoming events for all of our fall sports, visit uncpbraves.com. Also on uncpbraves.com, you'll see information for all of our home streaming events on our YouTube channel, links to that, all kinds of good stuff. Also on Twitter and Facebook, just search UNCP Sports. Until next week, go Braves.